What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the MMA Addict. Today we are going over my favorite prospects within every UFC division. Overall, I've been away. I'm sorry. I know it's been a while since the last video. I've been working on college and work, and I've just been busy with everything. But I haven't missed a single fight. I've honestly loved the fights this year. I love the direction that the UFC is going in. The only thing I would say, I'm not a big fan of that new O'Malley versus Merab 2, but honestly, there really is no number one contender at bantamweight right now, so it kind of makes sense. All in all, I'm very excited for Lerone Murphy versus Josh Emmett tomorrow. If you guys ever wanted a picks video, please let me know. I can do a picks video if anybody's looking for that. And then, yeah, overall, I appreciate you guys for listening and pray that my parlay hits tomorrow. But anyways, let's get into my favorite prospects. So I pretty much picked two prospects per division, one main one and one honorable mention to discuss today. So that first one, we're going to start with flyweight. First, we have Loner Kavanagh. Loner Kavanagh is 9-0 prospect in the flyweight division. Very talented striker, very talented grappler. If you haven't seen his fights, watch his Dana White's Contender Series knockout. I think Antoine Ho was who he KO'd. Watch that. Also watch him versus Dos Santos. I mean, Manel Cap had a very competitive fight with Dos Santos. And, Loner Kavanagh just destroyed him. Really, like, he destroyed Dos Santos and made it look easy. And honestly, I think he's a very good well, except for the first round. He won 2 rounds very confidently. He looked very good. That fight is a really entertaining fight. Honestly, a very good war back and forth. Kavanagh took a little bit of damage. He got elbowed on the top of the head, and so a cut started leaking onto his face, and he started bleeding a bit. But he was able to push through that, fight through that. He has a very, very fast striking style. And overall, I'm just a big fan of this guy. I think he's a very talented prospect, and I think he can go far in the division. Honestly, I think they're going to push him because he represents the UK audience, because he's half English and half, I want to say Japanese. So, if I'm wrong, I apologize. But I think he's a very talented fighter. I hope that he can continue to move on in the division. He's just overall one of my favorite prospects right now. Such an interesting name, too. Loner Kavanagh. If I'm saying that wrong, my bad. But let me know in the comments if I am. But anyways, that honorable mention, I have Andre Lima. Andre Lima is the only fighter that I know of that has been bit in the UFC Octagon. His opponent got disqualified, kicked out, all this stuff. But Andre Lima is a very talented, undefeated fighter. I think Andre Lima has a very good future to him. If you haven't seen his fight against Daniel Perez, watch him versus Daniel Perez. It was just levels. He destroyed Daniel Perez in the striking, in the grappling, just overall pure destruction throughout that fight. And so, honestly, I think that Andre Lima is a great runner-up for best prospect in that division. He's one of my favorite prospects. He's got the personality. He's got the cool hat when he walks out and stuff, which I know those are little things, but, it's things that make you stand out. He stands out from the crowd as well as Loner Kavanagh. Loner Kavanagh, ninja shit only. And, that's a cool mindset to have, especially at flyweight. They do fight like ninjas, back and forward, little small guys. So overall, Kavanagh and Lima are my two favorite prospects at flyweight in a very stacked young division. There's so many young up-and-comers. Clayton Carpenter, for example. He's 30-ish. I think he's 30, but he's still got time. Kavanagh, Andre Lima, a lot of very talented fighters are on the come-up. Joshua Van, who's in the rankings now, Ray Saruya, Tatsuro Taira, all these 20-ish year olds, 20 to early 30-year-olds. There's a lot of future to them, and with an aging division as well as an aging champ, Pantoja, my goat, there's a lot of future for these people to move up. So overall, if I could recommend any prospects for flyweight, I would recommend Kavanagh and Andre Lima. But moving on to bantamweight, we have Gene Matsumoto, and Cody Haddon. Gene Matsumoto, let me tell you about this kid, Gene Matsumoto. He's a marauder. Nah, but G Matsumoto, 16-1 record. He just recently lost his he just recently lost his O against Rob Font. He stepped in on short notice against Rob Font and took him to a very close split decision, which I think should have went his way. But I don't hate that it didn't go his way. Rob Font did fake a glove touch in that fight, which was super disappointing. But yeah, super disappointing behavior from a vet of the game. But Jean Matsumoto, a very talented striker, very talented grappler. His grappling is great. That war with Rob Font was one of my favorite fights of the year thus far. And even though he did lose his O, I think he still has a lot of talent, and I think he has a lot of future in the division. And I'm pretty sure he's pretty young as well. And he has good training partners and stuff. And while he may not be a crazy finisher, 6 wins by submission, 3 wins by KO, more wins by decision, 16-1 is still a very extensive record. And sometimes you just like the prospects that aren't getting all the flashy KOs because they show they can go 3 hard rounds and they show that they have a good gas tank and that they can carry it throughout the fight. But overall, he is a very talented fighter from Brazil. If I didn't mention it, Andre Lima is also Brazilian. I'm a big fan of Brazilian fighters. And yeah, those are and then let's see. Second, Cody Haddon from Australia. Cody Haddon, his only loss in the UFC is Steve Erceg back when, I don't know if they fought at bantamweight or at flyweight, but now Steve Erceg's at flyweight, so we're not going to end up seeing that rematch most likely. Unfortunately, that would be really cool. But Cody Haddon, very high-level fighter. I loved his Dana White's Contender Series debut. You're going to see a lot of Dana White's Contender Series people from the 2024 season on here. There's a lot of really good prospects from that season. Just to name a few, who haven't made their debut, like Malcolm Wellmaker, Islam Dulatov. There's a couple really good ones still that have yet to make their debut. But back to Cody Haddon. Cody Haddon, very talented fighter. Honestly, a lot of these people that I'm saying are very well-rounded. This is the 4th very well-rounded fighter in a row. He's got amazing grappling. Honestly, that's his strong suit. He's got great grappling. He was scheduled to fight Alessandro Taporia, but then he got injured. I honestly would have picked him to beat Taporia's brother, which is a hot take, but I mean, I see him as more of a prospect than Taporia's brother. Hopefully we get that fight someday, maybe rescheduled or something, but Cody Haddon was injured. But yeah, man, I think he's a very good prospect. I think the loss to Erceg was something that he needed. You know, a lot of the times fighters, especially with both these guys, both of them have one loss. Having an undefeated record sometimes puts a lot of pressure on a fighter. An example of that is Sean Brady, who says that he was under a ton of pressure to keep his O, leading to his loss to Bilal, where he went into that fight also compromised. Also, how about Sean Brady? That was an amazing performance against Leon Rocky Edwards, who is actually, if you guys don't know, my absolute least favorite fighter. If you guys haven't already seen it, go ahead and go check out my least favorite fighters video. But yeah, Cody Haddon, very talented striker, but honestly, the grappling is where he shines. A lot of Australian grapplers are coming out of the weeds right now. You're seeing a lot of good grappling from China. You're seeing a lot of good grappling from Australia, as well as obviously the Russian territories, and just some good old American wrestling. But yeah, so Cody Haddon and G Matsumoto are my 2 favorite prospects for bantamweight. Moving on, Gene Lord Silva. This is the last time you're going to see him on a prospects list because he's about to hit the rankings. He is going to KO Bryce Mitchell. All of his fights are bangers. He's a very talented fighter, 15-2 record, 12 wins by knockout. While I did say, yeah, it's good to have prospects that go to decisions, it's also good to have prospects that get finishes. This was an amazing performance against Melsik Bagdasaryan, who I'm pretty sure was a kickboxing world champ, if I'm not mistaken, or at least like a national or international champion in kickboxing. He just destroyed him. He ducked every kick. He checked the leg kicks. He ducked every head kick. He ate the body kicks if needed. Honestly, he didn't really get into the boxing exchanges because his head movement is so talented. And he's so entertaining. He's got a taunting style where we're high-fiving, we're hugging, he's very bipolar in the cage. He'll cry one moment while Bruce Buffer's announcing his name. The next moment, he's giving you a high five. And then, bam, he lulls you into a state of, oh, we're friends, it's okay, we're good. And then, bam, he snaps. He's fighting Bryce Mitchell next. Bryce Mitchell's obviously coming off of that very bad KO loss to Josh Emmett, who again fights this weekend. I think Lerone Murphy's going to beat Josh Emmett. And if he does, that doesn't age well for Bryce because of obviously styles make fights, no doubt. But I think Gene Silva is the perfect style to beat a Bryce Mitchell. I don't see Bryce Mitchell finding a submission on him. And I see him being able to get out of the wrestling with his good scrambles. He trains with the Fighting Nerds. The other two Fighting Nerds, obviously there's going to be another Fighting Nerds on this list. But the other two, Caio Borralho, who is already in the rankings at 180s, is a top 5 fighter. Very talented. Look out for his fight news coming soon. I know he's fighting soon. And then also Carlos Prates, who was supposed to be on 314 next week as well, who is now main eventing against Ian Gary on the 26th. That I'm very scared for. I don't know if Prates wins that. I'm hoping so. I'm going to pick Prates because I'm a very big fan of the Fighting Nerds, and I do see a way to win for Prates. But, yeah, man, Gene Silva, very talented striker. We haven't seen the grappling tested as much. He's not only 2 wins by submission, you know. He's primarily a striker, but I think he has good enough scrambles to get him to a high level. And honestly, with the way that featherweight is shaping up, other than Aljo, Mavzar, and then like Alex Volkanovski and Diego Lopez, I don't know if Gene Silva loses to anybody. I don't know, maybe this ages poorly. Maybe this ages terribly. Those are like the 4 guys that I think could give him his hardest run. Maybe an Arnold Allen if you want to make a top 5. But, yeah, man, Gene Silva, very electric striker, electric personality. Very much so the Michelangelo of the group if you're going to assign Ninja Turtles to them. And then that honorable mention, Felipe Lima, very talented striker. I know I keep saying that, very talented striker, very talented grappler. But, man, like, what else is there to say? Both of these guys are from Brazil. Felipe Lima stepped in from, I'm pretty sure they recruited him from Octagon. He stepped in on short notice against Muhammad Naimov, and he beat him. He beat him up. He dominated that fight, submitted Muhammad Naimov, and Naimov was seen as a very good talent at the time with a win over Nathaniel Wood. Nathaniel Wood is a very talented fighter himself. So Felipe Lima, I think he's very close to getting a ranked opponent. He went to a decision in his last fight against Miles Johns, but that's not even a bad look. Miles Johns was scheduled against Cody Garbrandt previously. So Miles Johns is at the upper end of that division, the top 25 area, as well as Muhammad Naimov. So I think Felipe Lima's in that top 20 position. I think a ranked opponent can be called for, or like an Alex Caceres fight or something like that, and the winner of that can get a ranked opponent. But all in all, very talented fighter, and I would love to see that fight just based off of like just their different builds. Or if you want to give him just one more like highlight, give him Fernando Padilla and see what happens there. There's probably a finish in that fight. But anyways, Felipe Lima, very talented fighter, great from Brazil, amazing grappling, and very slick kickboxing. So big fan of both these guys. Moving on to the lightweight division. If you guys like it so far, please leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe. I know I've been away for a while, but my summer break is coming up really soon, so I'm going to be able to pump out content a lot more just depending on how much interaction I get. And yeah, man, I appreciate you guys all. Moving on, lightweight. There's the other fighting nerd. We have Mauricio Rufi from Brazil. 12-1 record, 7-fight win streak. 11 of his 12 wins are by KO. He is the definition of a KO artist. His only win that wasn't by KO was against James Lontop, who showed up like 20 pounds overweight. He made it a catch weight and then also missed the catch weight. Like, it was ridiculous. Rufi's a very talented striker. I know, talented striker. I'll work on coming up with more vocabulary, but he is a very dynamic striker is the best way that I can put it. If you guys already, if you're watching this video, you've seen his KO against Bobby Green. I cashed $80 for that little KO. I knew it was gonna happen. A spinning wheel kick KO. Oh my Lord, it was beautiful. It was just beautiful, honestly. Spinning wheel kick KO. One of the cleanest one other than maybe Edson Barbosa's that I've ever seen in my life. Bahamondes has one too. But honestly, Bahamondes is a very good fighter too. If you guys don't know about Bahamondes, definitely do your research on him. But I couldn't include him on this list because he's already in the rankings. But Rufy, man, I think he's the most technical out of the fighting nerds. I don't think he's the most well-rounded. I think Kaio takes that spot as the Leonardo of their group. But I think Rufy is definitely Donatello, the most technical, the perfect technique. He literally threw probably like 3 freaking strikes. He threw 2 strikes that weren't leg kicks, and he landed both of them and rocked Bobby Green with both of them. Which I know Bobby Green by KO is not that crazy, but he made Bobby Green look amateur on the feet. And Bobby Green is normally a very good striker, looking competitive with Jalen Turner until Jalen Turner sleeps him. Looking competitive with, beat up on Jim Miller on 300, and Jim Miller's seen as a very good boxer. Bobby Green is a very talented, very experienced striker, and Rufy made him look like it was child's play. So, very big fan of Rufy. I think he can go far. I think his hardest tests, 150s has so many prospects. Like Maitabek Orolbai, Mateus Rebecki, Grant Dawson, Ignacio Bahamondes. I know some of those are maybe in the rankings. Paddy Pimblett himself, who I don't think he makes it past Michael Chandler. Maybe that ages terribly, but if he does, there you go, straight into stardom. Proving damn near everybody wrong, And then who else? Ludovic Klein, who beat Bahamondes, who I don't know how he's not in the rankings yet. Ludovic Klein. Diego Ferreira beat somebody. He beat Rebecki, but he's not that much of a prospect. He's 40, all right, Unk. Put the fries in the bag, Unk. It's over. You're 40 years old. You're not a prospect. Also, I love that people treat Lerone Murphy like he's a young up-and-coming prospect. Bro's like 30. He's like 32, 33 years old. He's in his like mid-30s, about to hit 35 in the lower weight classes, bro. So I don't know, man. That's pretty funny. But yeah, man, Rufy's great. Moving on though, Fares Ziam from France. We're featuring a French fighter on here. Fares Ziam, I picked Matt Frivola to KO him. I didn't think, or not to KO him, but just to beat him by decision. I thought Matt Frivola had way more output, and I thought that the grappling was where Matt Frivola was going to take it. Turns out Fares Ziam just absolutely did a 180 on his whole career, decided he was one of the most aggressive fighters I've ever seen. He all of a sudden has now pushed a complete different pace from any of his early fights. He's honestly probably the most improved fighter on this whole list. His early career, he lost a couple fights, lost to Terrence McKinney. I forget who else he lost to, but his most recent fight against Mike Davis was so impressive. He is so flexible. His leg turned backwards in a calf slicer position on bottom, and he survived. And it was so crazy. He got cut open at the end, but he cut Mike Davis open so badly with talented elbows and knees. He's a very, very long, rangy striker. And a lot of these French guys, like William Gomis, for example, they have the very talented striking style, but they're very low output. Fares Ziam has made that switch, or like Ludovic Klein, somewhat low output. Fares Ziam has completely flipped the switch and just gone haywire in his fights with high output, very high entertainment level. Him versus Mike Davis is a banger. That was a very hard fight to predict. I picked Fares Ziam. I thought Fares Ziam could get it done. And yeah, and I was very happy with my choice. But his wrestling too, that's something I didn't even mention. He picked Mike Davis up over his head and slammed him so badly. It was amazing. His wrestling and his grappling has improved tenfold from the fighter he used to be. So big fan of Fares Ziam. I think he can take it far, but it is a very stacked division, so we will see. But yeah, Mauricio Rufy and Fares Ziam are my picks for lightweight. Moving on, I'm gonna try and make this video less than 35 minutes, so let's do this. Anyways, moving on. Welterweight. This was where I got last time before my friend interrupted me. But Carlos the Lion Leal. Let me tell you about this kid. He's probably on steroids. He probably has more steroids than Alistair Overeem. Look at all his acne. He has a lot of acne all over that chest, all over those pecs, and on his back and on his stomach. It looks like he's just on steroids, 100%. However, 10 wins by knockout, 2 wins by submission, 10 first-round finishes. He beat the shit out of Alex Morono in his last fight. He took everything that Alex Morono was throwing at him, walked him down, gave him no respect. He also did the same thing to Renat Fakhretdinov, who was attempting takedowns and hardly got any. I don't even think maybe he got 1 or 2, maybe 3 max, but but there was like probably 20, like there was double-digit attempts on Carlos Leal, and he just shucked them off every time. So Carlos Leal, very talented fighter. I don't think he's on steroids because I'm sure they've tested him by now. He made his debut on short notice, which was kind of sus, but like as of now, he looked great in the Alex Morono fight, and he got robbed so badly against Renat Fakhretdinov. They were in Abu Dhabi. They gave it 30-27 to Renat when it should have been, honestly, 29-28 to even a 30-27 Carlos Leal scorecard. Carlos Leal is a very talented striker. Overall, I'm not too sure about his grappling. I know his defensive grappling is good. I just know that he has a lot of power, and he's a very strong striker. And he's probably... Guys, he's probably on the sauce. But we're going to pretend like he's not. If he comes out with the sauce, move Jacoby Smith to my 1 and put Brian Battle at my 2. Or not Brian Battle. Put Oban Elliott or something like that. Some fun fighter, or Islam Dulatov, like I was saying earlier. But Jacoby Smith, let me tell you about this kid, Jacoby Smith. You know, DC and Joe Rogan, a lot of the time, they hype up these terrible fighters. Like, you got Joe Rogan thinking that, what's his name, was the next coming of Christ. What's his name? Lucas Tracy does this all the time where he don't remember what the fighter's name is. I promise you I'm not a casual. He fought Ilya Ryan Hall. So he thought Ryan Hall was like the next coming of Christ. The next thing, the next big, this is the next guy. Nope. Ryan Hall sucks. His jiu-jitsu is good, but like he was literally just a jiu-jitsu merchant. Jacoby Smith got hyped up like big time by DC as the as the next Khabib. Very talented American style wrestling, with honestly impressive striking. He is the real Bo Nickel in my opinion. He is the NCAA wrestler turned fighter who just has tons of KO power in his hands, very dynamic striking, and has an amazing wrestling-based game. I don't know how his submissions are. I'm going to check that right now as I continue talking. But overall, like, Jacoby Smith is a very well-rounded fighter. Sorry about that. He is a very well-rounded fighter who I believe is going to go very far in the division. The only thing that I would let, he's also 10-0. I don't know if I mentioned that. And Carlos Leal, he has losses on the record, but they're from a good while back. Both guys are on the older side for prospects, unfortunately. But there's honestly a lot of welterweight is already in the rankings, like Ian Gary, Buckley, Sean Brady, Shavkat, JDM. Like 170s is probably my favorite division in the UFC. But yeah, Jacoby Smith. 0 wins by submission. I was correct about that. 8 wins by KO, 2 wins by decisions. And he already KO'd his first opponent in the UFC. He got a great KO in the Contender Series. He is a very talented fighter, very talented striker. And all in all, I see him going very far in the sport. I like the fact that he doesn't have all wins by KO or submission or finish, because it just shows that he can go the distance. And I think his gas tank overall is pretty good. I mean, we'll see it get tested in the future. Sorry about that. I don't know why the slideshow keeps bugging out. But, yeah, overall, I think he's a very talented striker, and we'll see. But, anyways, moving on to middleweight. We got, man, fuck. I hate that he lost. But I'm happy that Jared won. Gregory RoboCop Rodriguez, man. He's a really good prospect. But he just can't seem to put it together sometimes, man. I don't know where his cardio went in the Jared fight. He just poured it all out trying to get that finish. Unwise fight IQ. I mean, we'll see. Yeah, I think he's going to make a comeback, but he's kind of old. You could also put Bruno Ferreira in his spot for who KO'd Gregory Rodriguez already, because I do really like Bruno Ferreira. But both guys are very talented. Another Brazilian here. Very talented Brazilian striker, and I don't know, man. I think he's got great wrestling, too. His wrestling and jiu-jitsu is very underrated. I was so surprised he didn't use it more against Jared, but I think he was just so dead set on a KO in a big moment to solidify himself in the rankings that it just hurt him. But he'll come back. It's all good. He ate a nasty, if you haven't seen the cut he got in the Chidi Njokuani fight, amazing. Also, shout out my buddy for coming from the same gym as Chidi. That's awesome. But anyways, yeah, man. Gregory Rodriguez, very talented striker, just a powerhouse. I honestly think he would serve very well at 205. I think he fits the light heavyweight division more, but I mean, we'll see. 10 wins by knockout out of his 16 wins. 13 wins out of his 16 wins are by finish. 7 first-round finishes. I mean, you can see it on the screen. He looks like Obama. He's a very fun guy, very polite, good Christian guy. And yeah, overall, just a big fan of him. Bo Nickel. Everybody's been calling him Bot Nickel. Man, I wish he was better looking in the Paul Craig fight. If he dominated Paul Craig, I would have been on the hype train, blah, blah, blah. He would have been the number 1 pick. I've trained with Bo Nickel before, actually. And he's a very solid dude. Very nice, very polite guy. But yeah, man, I don't know. I think he overrates himself sometimes. Literally just like, who am I to say that? I'm an MMA addict, bro. What can I say? But yeah, man, I don't know. I don't know. I think he has a future in the sport. But he's undefeated right now. Like obviously he's a good prospect. He's undefeated. He beat Paul Craig, who beat Ankalaev, beat Krylov, beat Jamal Hill. And obviously fight math doesn't work, but technically Bo Nickel's the champion. Nah, I'm just playing, bro. But overall, Bo Nickel, American style wrestling, didn't really use it in the Paul Craig fight, which was disappointing and didn't look great. But he has some KO power in his hands. He KO'd Val Woodburn, which honestly looked good because Val Woodburn then went on to drop Obon Elliott, which is what? So Bo Nickel, American style wrestling, we'll see if he has any future. He big overhand, big meaty hook. He's got a big meaty hook and a and a takedown, and that's about it. And some submissions, actually. He's been working his jiu-jitsu a lot better. So, I mean, we'll see in the future, but he's my favorite prospect. I also have a little bit of bias just because I trained with him. You could also put Bruno Ferreira in here. It'd probably be a 3-way tie. But if you want to know more about Bruno Ferreira, y'all can go ahead and research that. Moving on. Light heavyweight. Yeah. Zhang Mingyang, the Mountain Tiger. I doubted this guy in his first fight because I saw this was back when I was very casual. I saw a reel that was like, yeah, man, his record's fraudulent. He lost to a bunch of terrible guys. Little did I know he was literally like a kid when he made his pro debut. So most of his losses are when he was like a child. He was 18 or maybe even younger. He was 16 or 18 years old. Some crazy number. He's very young for the division. 12 wins by KO. He's a power puncher. He looks like the Minecraft movie, bro. But chicken jockey, but my bad, y'all. But he literally looks like the freaking Minecraft movie. Very entertaining striker. He's fighting Anthony Smith. He's going to KO Anthony Smith, and I'm going to make bank on that. And then the only other prospect at light heavyweight, because Ibo Aslan from Turkey got fraud checked, Umar Sy. I mean, he's a very talented prospect, undefeated. I'm pretty sure double digits in O. I don't remember what exactly the number is. I wasn't very impressed against Da Woon Jung. I'm pretty sure he fought, and I wasn't very impressed. But it got Da Woon Jung cut from the UFC. He's got a very good grappling style. He's another French fighter. So we got China, we got French on here. See, I got all those international fighters on here y'all don't even know about. But let me tell you about this kid, Umar Sy. I don't know, very talented French fighter. I see him going far just because the undefeated record. He was scheduled against Alonzo Menifield. He's gonna fight Alonzo Menifield again, or not again, but he got rescheduled against Alonzo Menifield. So I think he's gonna beat Alonzo Menifield badly. He may KO Alonzo. I think it's gonna be like a ground and pound TKO, if not a slick little RNC, little rear naked choke there. But anyways, moving on. Man, we're almost done with this list. I appreciate you guys for listening to me yap. If you guys like something, don't like something, didn't like a joke I said, whatever. I want criticism. I want compliments. Give me whatever, man. I appreciate you guys for listening and for being in the video. Moving on to our last category, we have, oh man, heavyweight, which sucks so bad. Here we go. The best prospects are Taliesin Teixeira, who's already in the rankings. He's going to sleep Derek Lewis. I don't care how that ages. Y'all could clip that. Like he's gonna beat Derek Lewis. Like Derek Lewis is literally just the only way Derek Lewis can win is fluking a KO. That's literally the career of Derek Lewis, and I'm not picking Derek Lewis, a guy who got KO'd by Tai Tui the Blob Vavasa, to freaking to beat this tall Brazilian prospect in Taliesin Teixeira. But overall, now let's actually talk about the prospects that are not ranked somehow. Walter Walker. They put Don'Tale Mayes in the rankings for some reason because there's only 30 active heavyweights. So it was really hard picking prospects here. But there's only 30 active heavyweights. And they put Don'Tale Mayes in the rankings despite having a terrible record in the UFC. And Walter Walker beat him. And instead they put Taliesin Teixeira in the rankings. Not too sure why. 13-1 record. His one loss is to Lucas Bursky, which looks terrible. But let me give you some context. Walter Walker came into the UFC. He is the brother of Johnny Walker. I didn't mention that. He has a way better chin than Johnny Walker, let me say. The Clean Monster is a goofy fight name, I won't lie. But 9 wins by finish out of 13 fights is very talented. His submission game is very good. He has had 2, what's it called? Honestly, he's improved his grappling. And in that first fight against Lucas Bursky, he was so fat and so out of shape when he came into that fight. And I don't know. Yeah, he was very fat, very out of shape, didn't look very good. And all in all, just looked like a failed prospect. And I got the pick wrong on that one. I was very disappointed in him because it was like, come on, bro. Like, you're the brother of Johnny Walker. You come in out of shape. He then lost like a ton of weight, put on a bunch of muscle, and like looks a lot better than he used to. If you look at the before and after, he actually like really worked on his physique. I saw it on his Instagram and stuff, which I follow. I'm a big fan of Walter Walker. He's very funny, just like his brother. Him and his brother are honestly great. Like, I do love Johnny Walker. Shout out my little sister. That's her favorite fighter. But all in all, bro, Walter Walker, man, people forget, man. He has 2 of 5 heel hook finishes in UFC heavyweight division. Like, I know Cyril Gane has one. I don't know who the other 2 belong to, but I know Cyril Gane and Walter Walker are the owners of 3 heel hooks of 5. So Walter Walker, I mean, he could literally just go through this division heel hooking people until the top 8, top 7. And like, honestly, I think he will reach the top 7. If not go a little bit further. I see him as like the new coming of like a Marcin Tybura. Like, I would pick him to beat Marcin Tybura probably. Whereas I picked Marcin Tybura to beat Mick Parkin. There we go. I didn't know. I thought Mick Parkin was not a prospect. I was never impressed by him. But yeah, man, give me Walter Walker. I mean, he's probably just the best unranked heavyweight right now. Like, he already has a win over somebody who was in the rankings, and Don'Tale Mayes, who shouldn't be in the rankings. But I see him just being able to just grapple all these fat fucks. Like, literally is the best way I could say it. Like, heavyweight sucks right now, unfortunately. Like, I should just make my heavyweight debut on everything. On everything, I really should. Like, anyways, honorable mention to end out the video. We're at 33 minutes. Unfortunately, we're going to go over that 35-minute mark, like I said. We got Mario Pinto, undefeated fighter from the UK. I don't know, not the UK. I don't know. He's an English fighter. He's cool, though. Bing Bang Bosch. Cool personality. Coming off the Dana White's Contender Series. Got dropped by Austin Lane, which is why he's not at the number 1 position. But a talented striker. Very patient. Said he was very nervous in that debut. I didn't like the look of getting dropped by Austin Lane at all. Makes me scared of a fraud check in the future. Like if he was fighting Derek Lewis, I would pick Derek Lewis to win, is the thing. Like, I'm not too sure about the chin, and I'm not too sure about the skill set. He seems a little bit too low output, but he's a very technical heavyweight, and I'll take that. Technical striking sometimes can be better. Undefeated fighter. We'll see how far he can go. But yeah, y'all, overall, that was my picks of my favorite prospects in every division. Just to recap, Kavanaugh Lima, Matsumoto Haddon, Silva Lima, Rufi Zion, Leal Smith, Rodriguez Nickel, Mingyang and Sai. Zhang Mingyang or Mingyang Zhang. I don't know which order it is, but there you go. Walker and Pinto. All in all, some very talented prospects. There's so many cool prospects in the UFC. It was very hard to make this list, especially in those lighter weight classes. But overall, I hope you guys appreciated the video. I hope you guys like it. I know it's a bit of a long one, bit of a yap session, but I just, it's been a while since I've talked about MMA on here, and I wanted to come back, give you guys a pretty decent video. But that was the MMA Addict. I'm pretty sure that's it. But I appreciate you guys. Just leave likes, comments, subscribe, like I said. I appreciate you. And if you guys have any picks for this weekend, drop your picks in the comments below. I'm interested to hear. But anyways, y'all, I appreciate you guys, and thanks for listening.